yeah. UFC 274 pre-fight Q&A, baby! Let's get it started! Yeah!
Let's go.
Fights!
It's the People's Pre-Fight Show. I had a UFC 274. The early prelims are going to kick off about 45 minutes from right now. And until then, you're just going to have to look at our faces. But we're going to answer and talk about whatever it is you want to talk about. That is why we title it the People's Pre-Fight Show. We will take your questions, your thoughts on UFC 274. Massive event. Two title fights. Two titles will be on the line. I don't know if we can call it necessarily two title fights. Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. I think by now you know what is going on tonight in that main event. Strawweight title on the line. Rose Namajunas defends against Carla. It's a rematch over 7 years in the making. We got Tony Ferguson versus Michael Chandler. And then we have 12 other fights after that. And we're going to talk about it with all of you. I am Mike Heck. We have Jed Meshew here with us. We did not hear from him last night on the preview show because we had to delay things by about 6 hours. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. You know, I wasn't working yesterday, so I didn't have to be on hand for all of that nonsense. So really counting my blessings today, and I'm excited. I just get to watch some fights tonight. Should be fun.
There you go. And we have on the ones and twos and joining the panel, Mr. E. Casey Leydon. What's up, my man?
As the kids say, let's effing go.
Yes.
Is that what? Yes.
Is this new? This is new intro.
Oh, yeah.
Music, isn't it?
It sure is.
Hear me off.
Casey heard no bets barred and was like, "Oh shit, they got bangers. We gotta upgrade our tunes." That's what it is.
Yes, the No Bets Barred intro is freaking unbelievable. So go listen to it. You still got time. You better maybe
You
skip
have a lot
a
of
couple
time
parts.
because 15 fights is so many fights. You
15
you
fights?
can listen to like
Oh my
4
God.
times before you get to the main card.
My energy level just dipped real quick when he said 15 fights. I was like, oh, crap.
You know, usually we lose a couple. Usually some chicanery goes on, and this time we haven't, which is good because if we had lost any, it would have been the main event, which would have sucked. So, yay, 15 fights.
Now, if you listen to the program, when Jed and Connor have the same bet, I guess it's called like a Wolfpack pick.
Sure,
and
is.
I believe they have
Wolfpack
two
wager, baby.
I believe they had 2 on the show, and one already fell through. You guys both went with Alex Polizzi, and Yoel Romero did Yoel Romero type things. So hopefully your other one turns out. It was Randy Brown, right? Randy Brown's the other one?
Sure is. So probably Chaos Williams is probably going to knock him senseless.
With 8 seconds left after being down 2 rounds.
Feels like that's what's going to happen. So, you know. It is what it is.
It sure is. So
Yoel
we have your question.
Doing Yoel stuff.
I believe it's going to be a chaotic night.
That backhand hit he did. Oh man, I was working on that today.
Oh yeah. Your questions, your thoughts, bring them in. If you have gambling questions, Jed is here to help you through them. If you need me, and I'll give my thoughts on them because I'm more of just like a wow, that betting line is here. I'm curious as to why, and yeah, so let's get after this thing. Right. Let's go to the peeps. And we're going to do this for the entire time.
That was a question yesterday. Yeah, old question. Get that out of here. All right, here we go. What do we want to start with?
Well, while you wait, while you search, all right, we'll go with this first. Right. Joseph was, could Matt Schnell enter the title conversation at Flyweight with a win? I asked because at Flyweight, he has won 4 of his last 5 fights there. I know he's 1-1, won no contest in that stretch at Bantamweight. So who's closer to a title, Jed, with a victory? Brandon Royval or Matt Schnell?
I mean, neither of them. Royval is because Royval's like actually really good and has had, you know, good solid fights with a lot of the top dudes in the division. He has a win over Kai Kara France, which is obviously aged beautifully considering what Kai's gone on to do. So I think Royval is probably the obvious answer, but I don't think either dude's frankly that close because in particular, Royval has losses to Brandon Moreno and Pantoja and who else? Somebody else in there. Casey Kinney. He lost to Casey Kinney, but that was pre-UFC. But, you know, he's just got I think he's got more work to do. So I don't think either dude is entering the title conversation, especially because flyweight is screwed right now. What with the tetralogy theoretically happening, and then Kai France is next in line. I mean, there's anyone who's entering the title picture got long wait ahead of them.
This is a really interesting question because Brandon Moreno is really the question mark here because he could wait and fight Davidson Figueiredo. The original plan was they were going to try to do this in July, and now Figgy's got the hand injury that he revealed to our own Guilherme Cruz. So he was thinking maybe the fall. There's talks maybe not until the end of the year he's going to be able to come back. And from what I understand, Brandon Moreno wants to fight this summer. So there is a chance we see Brandon Moreno fight Kai France before he fights for the title. At least that's the feeling I got. If that fight gets booked, things could get interesting. This fight has a little more merit. Having said that, I think Royval is further along this conversation. I think Schnell has been close at times, and then any time he has gotten real close, he's taken a bad loss. So I would say no. If he wins, he's not in the conversation just yet, but he's certainly on his way. Casey, your thoughts on this question?
Raw dog. Easy. Raw dog. It's all raw dog.
Yeah. It's the year of the raw dog.
Year of the raw dog. Yeah, he's had some losses, but super close losses, and I think fans just Brandon Royval. He's over. People like him, and has he had a boring moment yet in the UFC?
No, that's the other thing. Brandon Royval is all action. So
yeah,
it's
just
easier
all,
for guys like that to get to places.
Yeah, he's arguably I mean, I
all
know
gas, no brakes, baby.
Yeah, Royval.
How badly do you think Rose is going to ruin Carla's wedding photos, which is in a week? Casey, let's go with you on this one first.
Not too bad. Some bruises. I mean, Carla may be bruised up, but she's gonna look good with that belt around her shoulder in the photo. So I don't see the issue.
Jed, I feel like you don't agree with anything Casey just said.
I mean, I agree in part that she's not going to look that bad because when you just catch one on the jaw and get put to sleep, you usually face doesn't get all that bruised up all that badly. It's like I don't think this fight is going to be. I think it's one-way traffic, frankly. And if it's not one-way traffic, it's not going to be like Joanna Wiley Zhang. It's not going to be this hellacious battle from both women who leave parts of their souls in the cage. It would be a competitive fight where there's a lot of grappling involved and, some punching and kicking. So I think either way, Carla's probably going to, maybe have some bruising, but I mostly think she's going to get run over and we'll probably be okay. Just concussed.
Yeah, this could be rough. Like I said on the previous show, I got Volkanovski zombie vibes when I look at this fight where you can make a compelling case that this could be competitive and that Carla could win and that Carla's energy could transfer over into good things tonight. But I just think Rose is that good right now. And I think she knows it. And I think she understands what it takes to be a champion. So I think it's going to be a rough night for Carla. I think she might steal a round early, but I think Rose is going to piece her up. And then she's going to basically just lower the hammer early in the championship rounds. And it's going to be a wrap. I got 4th round knockout TKO for Rose. But listen, this is why they fight. And I could be terribly wrong. And Carla just lands 30 takedowns tonight. But I just don't see it happening because Rose has to know what she's up against. And that's Carla's only real way to win tonight. So, yeah, give me Rose dominant fashion.
I don't think she needs 30 takedowns. She just needs 1 takedown every round. I think Carla's that good. Like if she can get Rose on her butt, then I think that bad memories for Rose are going to kick in. So
we'll see.
Yeah, I know. I love this fight. I mean, is anyone arguing this isn't the fight to make though? I mean,
this is definitely the fight to make.
That's the thing.
It was the fight to make a year ago.
Yeah, you may think Carla's going to get her butt kicked, but it doesn't matter because she's earned this spot to get her butt kicked. And I think that's what the most important thing is coming into
1000%.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this was the fight. I mean, we've been talking about this fight since she beat Yan. She didn't even need to fight Yan Zhana. I thought she earned the title shot, and then that win put it over the top. And it still took time for the UFC to put this fight together. So yeah, good for Carla. And what a moment it would be if she proves everybody wrong, and except for you, Casey, and I think AK also picked Carla Esparza from what I understand.
Oh, I agree. Logically, Rose should win. By if you know if you're using your brain, but nah, I don't. Who does picks like that? That's what those
Oh,
gamblers are for.
let me add to this real quick, Casey, because I know personally you feel like this fight isn't getting enough attention, but someone just asked me this question on Twitter, so I'll present it to you, and then Jed, you can chime in as well. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? There it is. If Carla wins tonight, is there a greater comeback in the history of the sport? She looked totally broken against Joanna and Jacek. She actually looks scared. 7 years on, and she's back without a hype train. Now, I do agree with she looks broken against JJ, and I believe, and I agree with she actually looks scared in that fight. That was a fight that Carla didn't even want to talk about for like 2 or 3 years. Like, anytime I interviewed her, I was told specifically like not to even bring that fight up. So she's over it now. She's been asked about it since. So that's a long time. So where does this rank in, comebacks to a title in your mind? Is this top 5? Like how high is this for you if she wins tonight?
Ooh. As far as like kind of champions coming back and kind of regaining their full, allure.
Man, I mean, maybe not even champions, just like a fighter down, and then just when we think like they're done and they're never gonna get back, they somehow find a way to overdo the expectations and have either win the title or get back to a big spot.
I'm trying to think of some kind of comparisons. Like what are the fighters would we kind of put in that league? Like Bisping?
I mean, he's up there. I bet Matt Serra for me it's going to be hard to top that. I mean, the guy was basically out of the UFC, had to go on a comeback season, The Ultimate Fighter, got a title shot and beat freaking George St. Pierre. Taking that spot is going to be really, really difficult. But that was the first one that came to mind.
That's a little different because he got in through a reality show. But then again, Carla won her championship based on a reality show too. So yeah, I do see the similarities actually. It's up there. I don't know if it's going to be number 1, just because, like you said, there's not enough hype behind this. And I feel like if Carla does win tonight, unfortunately, I feel most people are going to kind of put it on Rose just not performing. I feel like it's going to be one of those kind of in the discussions, like, oh, Rose, she can't win the.
She wasn't herself.
She wasn't herself tonight. Yeah, something like that. Because Carla's consistent, man. Carla's like, what Carla you're gonna get. She faced obviously when she faced like someone like Joanna, that was like peak Joanna, the scariest version of Joanna we've seen, or at least that was the introduction to kind of the world, like how scary Joanna is when she's firing on all cylinders. So if she wins tonight, heck of a story. Especially considering Carla is like essentially she's really an atom weight. If you ever like stand next to her against other strawweights, Carla is very small.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Jed? If Carla comes back and let's put this in perspective too. This is it. If she doesn't win tonight, she's probably never getting a title shot again.
It's up there. It's an interesting question. I mean, a lot of factors at play. I think Sarah, as you mentioned, is a really good candidate. Randy Couture, it's obviously really old, but Randy got blown out by Chuck twice and was done, and then he came back and beat Tim Sylvia, which I don't think anyone expected other than him. So that's a good one. I think honestly, in terms of like a full career, because you just don't see this happen. You'll see champions come back and return and reclaim a belt, even though that's rare, but that usually happens within a year or two. They get right back in the mix, something shakes up. It's not 7, however many years it has been removed since that first encounter. So I think it's right up there. The first person, honestly, that jumped to my mind was Rafael dos Anjos, just because, and I think those are very different things, frankly, but RDA was not, he was highly touted. He lost a bunch. He got doors blown off by Jeremy Stevens, moved up to lightweight. And when Khabib ragdolled him, I sort of thought that was kind of the end of his relevance in the career. And then lo and behold, he goes and wins the belt before Khabib does. So again, it's a little bit different. So I don't know where you wager them all, but it's right up there for sure. It's certainly one of the most impressive, if it's not the most impressive comeback.
I will say there's one current fighter right now that could, even if Carla wins the title today, there's one current fighter that could eclipse her, and it's Jose Aldo in my eyes.
Well, that's for sure. Also, we should throw out that John Jones has had to come back like 3 different times. So,
That's way different. That's way different.
Let's not forget the freaking. Well, he's champ for a few more hours. Let's not forget Charles Oliveira. He was a bit of a forgotten kind of mid Carter exciting fighter, but no one really expected him to be in the GOAT conversation. Well, at least until yesterday. We'll see. He still may be, depending on his performance tonight. It's just gonna be a weird little kind of asterisk on this fight. I don't know. It's still just weird. I don't know how history is gonna look at this weight miss. I don't know.
I mean, listen, who knows? Dana White might be Dana White here. Shush.
If he wins, I think no one will care. I think no one will be concerned by the asterisk if he wins.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
It's very stupid. Because I haven't been on a program, I would like to say, this is the dumbest thing in the world. Basically, because like lightweight's not 155, it's 156. A vast majority of lightweight contests happen at a 156 weight pound limit. It's very stupid that we give a 1 pound allowance, but then don't. It's all just dumb. So I have no issues. I've been anti Charles Oliveira according to AK. I'm not taking anything away from him if he wins this. He wins it. Good on him. He will be the lightweight champion in my eyes, even if technically he won't and shouldn't be, frankly. Like, I will go so far to say as there are rules and they need to exist for a reason. Otherwise, any champion could just not make weight and there would suffer no consequence to that, which would be a huge advantage for champions. But, it's not going to change my opinion on Chucky Olives whatsoever if he wins this fight.
Oh, zero. Yeah. Zero. The only thing that happens from yesterday's fiasco is it sucks for Charles's bank account. That's it.
And Justin Gaethje's too, because does Gaethje not get like the same percentage because Charles? How do percentages work for pay-per-view points though? Because if he gets 30% of his paycheck, but also Charles is a champion and should be getting pay-per-view points, but I'm assuming that that's not going to happen. We've uncharted territory. I don't know the answers here.
Don't know the answers yet.
I think Justin. I don't think anything affects Gaethje.
I don't think so either.
Yeah. It'll be curious to see what Dana does because we've had guys fight for titles who weren't 155, and Dana's we kind of knew what was going to happen in this fight. But Iaquinta fighting Khabib for the title, and I know it was a strange circumstance, but Iaquinta weighed in that day at 155 and a half. Now he wasn't supposed to fight Khabib at the time, or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He was over.
It was over.
And Dana said, I don't care about the weight. If Iaquinta wins, he's the champion. We'll worry about this later. So I wonder if Dana has the ability to call an audible here. Like, could he do it? Because that's a question everybody's been asking.
Belts aren't by commissions.
Yeah.
The belts of the UFC, they can just give it to whoever they want to. Jose Aldo has
take it away.
Jose Aldo never won a UFC title by taking it from somebody. He was granted 2 UFC undisputed belts. They can just do it. I don't think they will because again, that's a really bad precedent to do that. Like, cool. Well, the champion doesn't have to make weight. As long as they win, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. But Jed's right.
Just so strange.
Yeah, technically the UFC can take away, give belts away. Like they
can make you the lightweight champion. They could. You can be the lightweight champion.
Oh man, I gotta get on that.
Well, remember Tony Ferguson? They took his belt away because he got injured while doing press for the UFC. So they can do whatever. We had Cyril Gahn and Derek Lewis. It's all make believe. It's all make believe. Like, it just sucks that Dana isn't. I'm confident they're not gonna give Chucky his champion money. Even his fight kit. Wait, does he walk out in the champion's outfit tonight?
He probably will.
But he's not fighting as a champion. He said as soon as the bell rings that his fight kit uniform is a lie.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're already fitted for that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I know.
They're not going to go out and make new ones. But
I wonder if they're going to take his money away. Is he just going to get
for sure?
That is insane. That is insane greed by these guys. Unreal.
Bet money.
So here's the thing. I'm never a guy who's going to defend the UFC for taking money, and I don't know how much. I haven't thought this all the way through. There do need to be consequences for failure here, and I don't know what those are, but like taking his belt away kind of doesn't mean anything if he wins the fight because he will, by definition, be the uncrowned champion, and he will fight for the belt in his next one. So it's not a huge difference. So you have to do something to him. And so I'm not like all the way against the money thing, but I am against it because I always want fighters to make more money.
Well, you can fine him his show money, like like Dumont got fined. Just fine him that money. I mean, because he did miss weight. He missed weight. That's can't get over.
It'll probably be, from what I understand, and I talked to like a couple people about this, and I don't know for sure, but probably 30% he's losing off the show purse.
Wow. I thought it used to be 20%. Did they raise it to 30?
It depends.
Well, I mean, it's probably just because
they play it by ear,
and it's unprecedented. So maybe that's what Gaethje's side wanted, which I mean,
good on him.
That money,
yeah, it's money.
It. But again,
this whole thing is so weird.
It is weird.
It is very weird. And Sean brought up a good point, and I just watched Eric Nixick give his side of the whole thing.
Ooh, what Eric said?
Eric said, Eric said basically if they were anywhere else, this wouldn't even be a thing right now, because most people, if they feel like somebody's close, because Eric even said, he goes, listen, if someone's like on the scale, champion gets on the scale and it's like 155 and a half, they just like slam it down and say 155 and call it a day.
Sure.
Like, no, most people aren't like so meticulous looking at the things and stuff like that. And
most people aren't doing their job.
Like, yeah. But if Oliveira weighed in at 158, that first weigh in, and then he had the hour, comes back, yeah, but he was 155 and a half. He went back for an hour and cut weight.
See, that's worse to me.
I know.
That's like actually worse to me.
Watch Khabib weigh in before he fought Gaethje.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is it is worse to me that he did nothing over an hour. He lost 0 weight over an hour.
We're not talking about that enough. Like, what the hell happened in that hour?
That is the thing that I am the most fascinated by because, and this is, I'm going to sound like a huge hater. Sure, maybe I don't know. There are only 2 plausible outcomes to me that make any sense at all, unless you guys can explain another one. One, he physically could not cut anymore. And so he's just been lying the whole time about like, oh, I made weight, I'm fine, blah. That's all just a lie. And he physically was done and somehow didn't look that bad on the scale. Or 2, Justin Gaethje's right, man. Like, if you have an hour and your title doesn't mean enough to you to lose a half pound, to shave your head and spit 5 times or whatever, there's quitting you and you're looking for something. Like, you're looking for a backdoor. You're looking like that is the honest to God, the only 2 plausible outcomes to me here. And I don't know which one is more right, but I cannot fathom how he couldn't lose a half pound. It does not make sense to me.
For someone that claimed that they were on weight 12 hours before, which first of all, if
you're
on weight 12 hours
bad
before,
on the scale. Didn't look that bad.
He looked stunned. He looked absolutely stunned.
But why did he come in at 5 minutes, like 5 minutes, even closer to that, like with like 2 minutes left before the end of weigh-in regulation? If you're on weight, you come in at 9 freaking o'clock. What is he doing? I don't understand. Only God knows.
The whole thing is really weird.
The
whole thing is really weird.
I'm saying he either couldn't do it or he chose not to, and either one of those is really bad.
This is weird.
It's the whole thing with the scales and stuff, and the whole thing with the scale.
Oh, I don't.
It's
dumb. The scale thing's
there
stupid too.
There are 30 fights. There are 30 fighters on this card, and he and Norm Dumont are the only people who screwed up. That's on you, man. You're the champion. Don't give me any crap about the other scale. Like, that is stupid as hell because 28 other people did not have that issue, and they don't have pay-per-view points and a champion purse and a belt on the line. Like, it does not make sense to me, and I am so fascinated. For 2 weeks from now, we finally get to hear like the real story of what happened. Because there's no way we're getting the truth right now. There's just no way.
Who's the combat sports lawyer that's always on Twitter?
Eric McGracken.
Yeah.
Eric McGracken. So he dug in and he said that according to bylaws in the state of Arizona, weigh-ins cannot take place more than 24 hours before the fight is supposed to start or the fight card is supposed to begin. So technically, at least in his eyes, after talking to other people, he felt like the entire process was like against board, was against regulations.
Okay, well that's the whole weigh-ins in
hours.
general.
Regardless, I mean, it is what it is. Nothing's really going to change it, but it has become a really fascinating story. And I'm very curious what Dana White's going to say about it. I am curious. But
this is the weirdest thing.
It is very strange. It is very strange.
Yeah.
And I agree with Eric Nixick. If we were in other places, I think we wouldn't even be talking about this.
Yes,
right
and
now.
if we were not, I disagree too on Eric Nixick. Remember Yoel Romero, Whitaker Romero 2, when Romero missed weight by 0.2 pounds?
Yeah.
And that's because they
unlucky.
used a freaking digital scale. Just use a digital scale. Do it like they do in all the British boxing events. And they weigh in, that scale is actually connected to another little digital reader that everyone can freaking see. There's no shenanigans. You stand on it. Everyone sees the weight. It's simple.
Disagree with Casey's entire take here. Not because he's wrong. He is objectively correct because it's 2022 and why in God's name would you use a push scale that's dumb as hell? But also, I don't care about the weight difference because I've never cared about. I don't care if he weighs 17 pounds more because one, it's not their fight weight. I'm sure there will be a substantial weight difference between these two gentlemen come fight night because rehydration is a science that matters in fighting for some stupid reason. So like, I also just don't care anyway. Like, I don't know. Casey, you're a fighter. You know things. Whenever I've gone to the gym and trained or whatever, I'm not like, nah, dude, you got 5 pounds on me. We can't roll. That's an unfair advantage. It's like, all right, cool. You're within 50 pounds of me. Great. We're fine here.
You know what? But that's all fun in a gym. But when you start putting money on everything, then all of a sudden you're like, nah, bro, you're 5 pounds over. Give me 30% of your bank account right now.
Well, if the rules are going to let me get 30%,
that's what I'm saying.
Then I sure am going to get that 30%.
Money changes it all. Money changes everything. So
I know, but it doesn't change me as the fan giving two toots about the difference.
I agree. Oh, it's all stupid. This is all stupid, but we have to talk within this stupid world. Yeah. It's all dumb.
We make rules and then have to live in these dumb rules.
Yes. Okay, enough of that dumbness.
It wasn't even asked about it. We just went on that tangent. And
the question was about Carla's wedding photos.
No,
that's the best.
Yeah, but then Mike brought in his own question off the wedding photos.
That's what happened.
And then we got down a rabbit hole.
Okay. Yes, we sure did.
Let's talk about the people's main event.
Jed, how excited are you for Goy Ivanov versus Marco Rogerio de Lima? Heavyweight, belly's just a slap, and this is right up your alley, Jed.
I would be a lot more excited, but I made what is probably a dumb bet on Marcos Rogerio de Lima, and now I'm just going to be sweating it the whole time. So it's going to be because I did a dumb thing where I was like, I don't know, Marco Ivanov hasn't fought in 2 years, and he's like the worst athlete just in the world. He's the slowest man alive. And I was like, I don't know, Marcos Rogerio de Lima looked really good against Ben Rothwell. Fast hands. And it's like, nah, it's just not going to be. Don't bet on bad heavyweights, man. Don't bet on heavyweight MMA in general, but really don't bet on bad heavyweight MMA. So otherwise, I would love this fight because RDL hits really hard and is pretty athletic and good fast hands. And I'm pretty sure Blago Ivanov can't be knocked out because Tai Tuivasa and Derek Lewis didn't do it. So I don't know, unless you're just going to let Francis get a free uppercut on him or something. I don't know what's going to take this man out of the cage. So that would be really fun if you're not financially invested in it.
There you go.
Super excited for that fight.
I mean, there's a reason it's the early prelim main event, Casey.
Yeah. Yes. They want to make sure everyone gets there early. Don't show up for the main card. You got to get there early. You got to see the real fights. Yeah, come on. UFC knows what they're doing. All right.
Aaron Taylor, would Justin's leg kicks play a significant role in the fight? I think Justin's leg kicks play a significant role in every single fight he's in.
Except for one. Which would, well, no, he beat up Habib's legs too. Yeah, I forgot.
He did.
Sure did.
He did. That was going to be his best path to victory.
Yeah, I forgot. He actually did. Turns out Habib's just even better than we thought. He's just like, okay.
He won the first round on 2 of the judges' cards. So they clearly played a significant role, but then Habib was just like, nah, I'm done with this. Let's go to the ground and submit this man.
Yeah. So,
dude,
yes.
Trevor Whitman in that fight was like 5 more leg kicks and his leg's done, which, that could totally be made up. But also it could have been true. Habib was eating just clean leg kicks and just walking through them. So it could easily have been true as well.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the thing with leg kicks. They suck, but it's an investment, like body shots. But you still have to last. It's not going to be immediate for the most part. But if that fight went into the 3rd round, Habib, who knows? But got to get there though.
Yeah, and I think they're like Mike said, they're a huge weapon for him just in general. But
oh yeah,
look, you take out Oliveira's legs, and then he can't shoot on you anymore, and then you've won the fight. Or even really just that simple. Like if this gets to the 3rd round and Gaethje has invested in the legwork, I would bet a lot of money on Gaethje to win because Oliveira's legs are going to be too blown up to get takedowns on him.
To get takedowns, you get those really monster hooks he gets in when he gets your waist. Yeah, that's going to be tough.
That's such a key to fighting a guy like Oliveira too, because Oliveira, the way he fights and the way he approaches his stand-up, you have to give him things to think about because he feels like there's no man on earth that's going to be willing to try to take him down. Unless he fought Habib, maybe his strategy changed a little bit. But
Islam going to take him down.
Really different. But at least like with these matchups, Chandler, Poirier, this one as well, no one's going to try to take a shot on him. So he approaches it as if there's no way you're going to shoot on me. But if you give him other things to think about, like if those leg kicks are really adding up, then you're making his mind work a little bit more. And he knows they're coming, but he's probably been planning for that. And Gaethje doesn't care about that. Neither does his team. They have the way Gaethje approaches the leg kicking game is just unbelievable. Like, they're coming and you can't stop them. And then you just see people's minds race while they're in there with him. So yeah, they will play a significant role tonight.
He's the best leg kicker in the sport.
The way he throws those kicks in boxing range, because it's not he's the best leg kicker in the sport.
Best.
It's
so sick
because it's the range he can throw them at.
Throws them in the phone booth.
Yeah, he throws them. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the fact that he can do it that close and like that. So.
If Jose Aldo still kicked people in the legs, he would be the best leg kicker, but he refuses because he wants to hurt me personally. So instead, it's Justin Gaethje.
Let's talk now about the most insignificant fight of the night.
I'm excited to figure out which one you think is the most insignificant. Okay.
If Nora Dumont gets an impressive win, where does she go knowing that there's less than 5 fighters in the women's featherweight division? Jed, I'll let you answer this.
Say it's just to the number one in my heart because she boldly said the thing everyone thinks of. I don't really know why the UFC is keeping the featherweight division around. No one does, Normo. It's just there. Well, now I know why they are because they would very much like Amanda Nunes to still have a title. So that's what they're doing it for. But I don't know who, honest to God, I have no idea who is even still in the UFC that's a featherweight. That is.
I mean, Macy Chiasson, I guess.
No, I mean that Norma hasn't fought or is fighting. Yeah. Because Aspen Ladd or whatever.
Yeah, who's the only featherweight that only fights at featherweight?
It was Megan Anderson, but isn't she like sort of retired?
Yeah, she's actually smart in doing like the Hollywood thing.
There are a couple others too. I can't remember their names.
Felicia Spencer was one.
Gone. Retired.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you say there were a couple others, there were two. There were two of them, and they aren't here anymore. So no one knows.
Where does she go? She goes from being the number one contender to being the number one contender. And if she loses, she goes from being the number one contender to probably still being the number one contender in a division that doesn't exist. So
if she loses, the UFC should in fact just shut her featherweight. If she wins, sure, just go ahead and book the Nunes fight once Nunes is done with Juliana Pena. But other than that, who knows what's happening? I don't understand why this is division in the UFC because they clearly don't care about it.
The only reason I see the UFC keeping that division around, and it doesn't really make sense still, is to keep fighters away from Bellator, so Bellator can't load up their division. Therefore,
But
their
but
featherweight.
they
But these
but
aren't
they
named.
aren't.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
thing is, they're not doing it. I would get it if they were signing featherweights.
Yeah,
They aren't.
That's. I mean, I'm grasping here.
Right.
Like,
Here's the thing.
They
There
made
was
the division for Cyborg. She was there. It was what they wanted. They never built a division, but they gave her a shiny belt. Nunez took the belt, and then they're like, well, we can't take it away from her because she's a double champ, and that means
that
something.
means something.
And now it's just here. It's just around until Amanda Nunes retires, and then it'll go away.
Yeah, and I think the days of the UFC being concerned that their fighters could go to Bellator are long over.
Yeah,
I don't think they care at all anymore. Go ahead. You want to go to
Get that
Bellator?
ESPN
If someone
money.
watch, yeah, see ya. Goodbye. Like they'll just send them over. Here, I'll drive you to the airport. You can go. We'll send you there.
Yeah,
They do not care at all.
Yeah, especially for unfortunately for these ladies. I mean, they don't have that kind of pull. Yeah, it's one of the biggest mysteries. And usually I go, oh, if I don't have a reason for something, it's always money. And even this one, I'm like, I don't even know. Like, there's no.
This fight makes no sense. It makes no sense on this card. It did it first when they were going to do it in Brazil, but other than that, it makes literally zero sense to do it on this to do it in Phoenix, Arizona. But
What are the odds on that right now?
What do we got here?
They stayed the same. Man, I was hoping
Yeah, not much
Chasen might
movement.
move. Not almost none. I was hoping Chasen might move some, but
So, but speaking of just straight odds, I thought this was kind of interesting. So yesterday, before the weigh-ins on Tapology, Gaethje had a 34% chance of winning, according to fans. He is now up to 41%, which is pretty interesting.
makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, now the betting line, Oliveira went from a minus 185 to a minus 130 in less than 24 hours.
He was up. He was juiced to 185. Holy hell!
Yesterday morning he was 185, and now Gaethje's still at plus money. But I would not be shocked if Gaethje is either even money. It could be even money by the time they fight. So, but again, he's still plus 110. You want Gaethje, you jump on that stuff right now. Yeah. Jump on it now. Yeah. Or you do what Jed suggests, and if you're gonna pick Gaethje, you just go for the KO prop.
Just
take
him by KO, and that prop's got to be like 170 now or something. I'm sure, but
yeah, I may or may not throw money on that one.
165 for a thing. I have money on both Gaethje and Gaethje by KO.
Did you hedge with the Oliveira submission?
Did not.
Okay.
I didn't. I still think it's probably like actually the correct thing to do, but once he missed weight, I wasn't going to hedge because I'm with the community. That to me is like, yeah, okay, well, there's something rotten in Denmark here because again, you had an hour to lose a half pound and couldn't or wouldn't. Either way, that makes me feel more confident in Justin Gaethje.
Which fighter will have the fastest finish on the main card? Wow. Okay.
Ooh. That is a really good question, except for there's a very obvious answer that I will choose. But Mike, you can take it because I think you agree with me.
I'm torn between two.
I'm not torn at all then.
No, I feel like the first two fights are going to end relatively quickly. It's either Shogun or Joe Lozon in my eyes. I'm going to go Joe Lozon to get the fastest finish on the card. But Shogun's there, I think. I think Shogun OSP is not getting out of the
Shogun?
third. I'm picking Shogun to win by knockout.
Yeah. Let's go, Mike. What a pick. What a choice.
But it could be but I mean, I'm looking at it from a betting perspective, even though I'm not betting at all. But you're giving me, this is a 50-50 fight in my eyes. Like, I really think it's a 50-50 fight. I think their past performances, at least like their last 4 or 5 fights, tell me that it's a 50-50 fight. One of these guys is going down. And if you're going to give me Shogun at plus money when he only has a fight or 2 left in his career, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he runs over OSP tonight. It just isn't. So give me that juice. And yeah, OSP has been chin checked quite a bit in his last several fights. He's a get or get got guy at this point, and he hasn't thrown anything in his last 3 fights. He hasn't thrown like a punch. Watch the Tanner Bozier fight. He threw 0 punches. I completely
he landed 9 strikes. He landed 9 strikes against Tanner Bozier.
Yeah. So It's between those two guys, but I'll go with the New Englander Joe Lozon to get the fastest finish on the main card.
Also, to clarify that for those who haven't seen the fight or are unaware, he landed 9 strikes in 7.5 minutes of fight time that had almost no grappling. That is less than 1 strike per minute. Like, it is just bad. So,
Hey, but stats can be misleading, man. We just saw Font had 100 more strikes and got blown
they
out. So.
can be.
Yeah,
Stats can be
be.
misleading. They also can tell you the tale.
Yeah.
And in OSP's case, they tell a tale. I'm also picking
But
Shogun,
here's-
even though I think that's probably wrong. But my heart wants what my heart wants, and you can't talk me out of it.
But here's a number that can't be wrong. How many strikes thrown in the fight? 26.
I was going to say, I actually think I remembered that.
So I'm trying to do some math here, but that's like for per minute, that is not a lot. So yeah, give me Shogun to win this one.
I think
not confident.
I think Joanna threw more strikes in their finishing sequence when she knocked out Carla. Like that was just...
for sure. Joanna had like a 30 punch combo.
Max Holloway threw more in the first 40 seconds of round 4 than OSP threw in that whole fight.
Yeah,
it's unbelievable. So, okay. What else we got? Three and change.
Oh, my answer, Justin Gaethje.
Oh yeah,
love that answer.
Wow. Okay. All right. I mean, I like the gusto. I like it.
I think this is the night.
You're looking at this card the right way. I'm looking at it in the way that I feel the world is heading. Like this is just what is going to happen. Do we know when the Islam Beneil fight is supposed to happen? If that fight happens in October in Abu Dhabi, is there a good chance Conor will slide in and face the winner of tonight's light heavyweight title fight? I mean, I would assume at least Beneil told our own Damon Martin that he's been kind of nudged towards be prepared to fight Islam in October in Abu Dhabi. But now that Oliveira has missed weight, that might change things here. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Conor getting in there, Jed? What would you rate the chances that Conor fights either Justin Gaethje next or fights Charles Oliveira for the vacant title?
70%. I'd be a little higher, but Conor, I think that there's actually a little bit of smoke to Conor's wanting to go to welterweight thing, where that smoke is, I've actually just been hitting the weights a lot, and it would be harder for me to make 155 at this point in my career, and I'd rather not do that. And if he can sneak his way into a welterweight title fight, it has a lot less risk and a lot more upside. But I've said all along that I thought Conor was getting a title fight when he came back because Dana has functionally said that. It makes the most monetary sense. And setting aside meritocracy, because there's no world in which he gets one on merit. If Justin Gaethje does beat up Charles Oliveira tonight, I want more than anything in the world for that to be the fight that happens. Because I have said this for years, it is the single most exciting fight in the history of the sport on paper. Because Gaethje, and whatever you think of Conor is one of the 5 most exciting fighters of all time, and Gaethje is the most exciting fighter of all time. And the way they match up is just so violently fun. So setting aside merit, if Gaethje wins, I for sure hope they do it. And if he doesn't win, if Oliveira wins, that's where I think things get a little trickier, just because of he won't be the champion, and how the UFC will handle that will be very interesting. So, but I think it's like 70-75% probably.
What do you think, Casey?
I absolutely hate the fact that Conor is getting a title shot next, but he will get a title shot because that's the UFC and they make up the rules because it's their company. But I 100% agree with Jed. I 100% agree with Jed. God, my brain farts when I say that. I agree with Jed.
It's tough.
Yeah. I agree with Jed that, I've wanted to see Conor versus Gaethje forever. That's just the fight I want to see. Unfortunately, it'll most likely be for the belt. I don't know. Maybe if Gaethje loses, they could just do Gaethje and Conor.
I don't think Conor takes that fight unless it's for a belt.
Yeah.
It's just not worth it to him. They're other fights he can take that are more money and less
Safer.
physical pain.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like, that's the thing too. If Oliveira wins and he does it, like, there's a real world where Conor actually can knock out Charles Oliveira. I'm not saying I'd pick it to happen, but I'm not saying I wouldn't pick it to happen. I would comfortably pick Justin Gaethje to beat the brains in of Conor McGregor, but there's definitely an outcome where he can knock out Charles Oliveira and reclaim the title. So it all gets real weird. Conor makes everything stupid. He does.
That should be the UFC's new slogan instead of as real as it gets. UFC, Conor makes everything stupid. You know what? We got before we head out and do our predictions or whatever.
We just got time. We have the broadcast hasn't even started yet.
Oh,
so
it's
we're
awesome.
Good.
Okay, okay.
Really?
Let's talk about this fight. We haven't even freaking talked about this fight. Somehow.
Now it's starting. Do you guys think if Tony Ferguson beats Chandler in the most El Cucuy bloody fashion, they need to give him the long overdue McGregor fight at 155 or 170?
Yeah.
Listen, here, this could be. So if Justin Gaethje loses and he doesn't get, let's just say he doesn't get the Charles Oliveira fight, which is a very good chance he will with everything happening right now. Do you feel like Ferguson Chandler, the winner of this, could get the Conor fight? Like, is this a thing? Especially if Tony wins, I think it's a strong possibility that's the direction they go. Poirier's out there too, but I don't think Poirier gets excited about fighting Michael Chandler. Maybe Tony Ferguson gets him out of bed, but I don't feel like Chandler gets him excited at all. So do you feel like Conor could be awaiting the winner if things fall into place the right way, Jed?
Conor should be. Like, that is how that should work. But again, I think Conor's probably getting a title fight. So probably not. But if Conor doesn't get a title fight for whatever reason, and he is interested in hanging around 155-ish, this should be the Conor McGregor sweepstakes. And I think that's what Michael Chandler's treating it like, frankly. I suspect that if he goes out here and beats up Tony Ferguson, he is going to call out Conor McGregor enthusiastically on that mic, and makes a ton of sense to be a great fight. I don't doubt Tony's would do the same thing, but it wouldn't stun me if Tony called for Conor. But I think that's the fight that should happen. That is the one that makes the most sense to me for sure.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, yeah. Oh God.
Also,
I agree
Conor,
with Jed.
I've thought for a long time that Conor would beat Tony. So I thought that before Tony lost a bunch of fights. I was like, I think Conor is actually a really bad matchup for him.
Tony's such a weird fighter because I can see almost every top 10 fighter beating him, but also not beating him, if that makes sense. It's like, yeah, that's just Tony Ferguson. Yeah, I don't think we've got like a washed up Tony Ferguson. I just feel like, he won some fights that he could have lost, and now he lost some fights that maybe he could have won. Yeah,
I think you're probably not that wrong with that.
Yeah. Maybe the Islam one might be different. I think Islam is just better. Islam beat Ferguson, right? Am I forgetting it?
Nope.
No. Oh, they didn't fight yet. Sorry. I'm thinking. Wait.
Oliveira ran.
Oh, okay.
Ran him over.
It was Oliveira.
And Beneil.
Okay.
Beneil did it.
Oh yeah,
I think he can beat Beneil.
Oliveira, Beneil. Yeah, I was trying to.
I think he could beat Beneil. I'm not sure he'd ever beat Oliveira based on how that fight went.
No, he would never. He would never beat Oliveira. Very rarely would he ever beat Gaethje and Beneil. Who knows?
I think he can beat Beneil because Beneil is also similarly won a lot of fights that he was not winning at periods of the fights. So it's.
Do we want to play the no fights yet? They're just looking at the main card. Who has the lightweight title at the beginning of 2023, Casey?
Justin Gaethje.
Yep. Islam will take it from him early in 2024.
Yeah. There you go.
Islam's going to fight in October. He won't fight again before the year's out. So in January or February, though, or sorry, not 2024.
Yeah,
January or February of 2023, Islam's going to take the belt.
Islam will have it eventually, for sure.
I will say
Arman Tsarukyan.
I'm all for chaos. No, Arman would be the champion if he got the opportunity. I'm going to say Charles Oliveira.
So does he get the belt because he's fought again after the Gaethje and they give it to him? Or does the UFC just say, it's your belt? How does he retain the belt in this scenario?
I mean, it could be either way. It is the UFC, but
That is also
I'm picking him to win for chaos, and then if he gets a number one contender fight, and if it is Conor, Oliveira is going to beat Conor, and there you go. And then Islam, like you said, fights in October, and that's probably the end of the year for Oliveira, and it's probably the end of the year for Islam.
You've made one critical mistake though, Mike, and because I'm with you, right? Like, let's say Oliveira goes out and beats Justin. When people fight Justin Gaethje, their career dies. Whether they win or lose, Dustin Poirier is the only man who like has had sustained success after beating him. Because Eddie off a freaking cliff. James Vick retired. Edson Barboza is Edson Barboza. Tony off a cliff. Habib retired. We don't talk about it enough. Justin Gaethje retired Habib Nurmagomedov. Just saying.
He did. That's a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact.
And it is a fact. And we're about to see about Michael Chandler, but 36-year-old Michael Chandler, who just had a fight of the year against that dude. I think Tony has a great opportunity strictly because of that. And so, like, I don't know, man. Even if Charles Oliveira wins, he's going to go through hell to do it. And most people don't come out all that well on the other side.
But if he fights Conor November, December, I like his chances to win that fight. Okay, let's play a couple. The first fighter's walking out, so we probably have like 8 or 9 minutes left here. Would be my guess between the intros and stuff. Let's play a quick game. Casey, bonus winners tonight.
Ooh. Bonus winners. Ooh, fight of the night. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna go Oliveira and Gaethje. I'm gonna go fight of the night.
So Gaethje gets $100,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be a crazy first round. I think it's gonna be one of those fights. And then another bonus to I think Donald Cerrone. I think Donald Cerrone's gonna. I mean, it's a long shot pick, but I'm going Donald Cerrone.
I think that's fair.
What's your other one?
Oh well, Gaethje's getting a performance and fight of the night. Maybe.
Oh damn! All right, Jed.
I mean, that's just good math to put all your chips on Gaethje because the man is a bonus machine. I'm going to do Gaethje and Rose for performances because they really like to reward the fighters at the top, and I think both of them are going to get very clean knockouts. Fight of the night, it's tougher. I'll go Randy Brown, Chaos Williams. I'm tempted by Royval Schnell, but Randy Brown, Chaos Williams.
Andre Fiallo will get one.
That would be my not main card pick.
Yeah, Andre Fiallo is going to get one. I'll go with Rose Namajunas to get the other, and I'm going with Michael Chandler, Tony Ferguson for fight of the night.
Actually, I'm changing my mind. I'm going to say no fight of the night. I'm going to say Gaethje, Rose, Fialho, and Joe Lozon get 4 performances.
All right,
I think this feels a lot like a card that doesn't have a fight of the night.
Hey, real quick, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go kind of opposite real quick. Would you pick Chandler Ferguson as fight of the night?
Yeah.
I'm picking Chandler, but I'm picking Chandler by a grindy lay and pray 15 minutes because Chandler needs that win. I know everyone's like Chandler's Mr. Excitement now, but when he's had losses in Bellator and stuff, and he's had to come back and needed that win, he goes back to his wrestling, and he can hold down Tony Ferguson for 15 minutes. And I think that's the smart play. I think it's time for Michael Chandler to kind of do the smart thing rather than the crowd-pleasing thing. But
I don't think
if he comes out and tries to take Tony's head off, he is going to get subbed, which is great because I have a bet on that.
Yeah.
But he is going to gas himself out, smacking into the brick that is Tony Ferguson's head, and then he's going to get darsed, and it's going to roll.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the picks real quick. First fight's about to start. Okay. All right. Joe Lozon, Donald Cerrone, Jed.
Lozon, KO round 1.
Me too. Casey.
Cerrone decision. Even though I did pick him for performance, but I picked decision though.
Shogun OSP. Casey.
Shogun second round knockout.
Shogun first round knockout. Jed.
Shogun second round knockout. That's wrong choice, but I believe.
Smart.
Chandler Ferguson. Casey's going Chandler decision. I'm going Ferguson third round sub. Chaos, baby. That's the theme of the night. Jed.
I'll be smart and say Chandler decision, but my heart wants it to be Tony Ferguson by sub.
There you go. Casey, you're picking Carla decision, I assume.
Yep, Carla decision.
Rose 4th round, TKO, KO for me. Jed?
Rose KO 3.
All right, main event. How does it end, Jed?
Justin Gaethje 2nd round KO.
Casey?
Actually, I think I picked first in our picking thing.
Still not an awful pick.
Justin Gaethje 1st round KO uppercut.
Justin Gaethje 3rd round gets put to sleep by Charles Oliveira via submission, baby.
Whoa.
Chaos will ensue in the desert, baby. Desert drama. That's what's going to happen. It's going to be a fun week over at MMAfighting.com. We are about a minute and a half into Ferdy Garcia and Journey Newson.
Who's winning, Mike?
Ferdy landing some big shots, but Journey's right in there having some fun too. So lots going on today. We got Jose and Sean Al-Shadi at the Footprint Center. So watch for post-fight interviews and stuff like that. We'll be live for the press conference after the fact, myself and Casey talking you through. And then we'll have a post-fight show afterward. Plus, we got Canelo. AK's on Canelo duty tonight. So we get a lot going on.
Canelo's still ducking Usman? Why are you ducking Usman?
I don't know, man. Just ducking Usman.
What are the chances Usman is there and he's going to try to do something stupid tonight?
Canelo's like, who?
Oh, who's this guy? Oh, that's Kamaru Usman. Okay.
All right, security, let him go.
Enjoy the fights. Enjoy the fights, everybody.